Order! Order! You are an incorrigible delinquent at times. Behave yourself, man!
It's late. So late you might begin to imagine what Liam, David and Boris are doing right now in their flat in Chevening. You can banish that image from your mind because waiting in the wings, we can hardly believe it, pioneering music legend Jean-Michel Jarre is in the studio and looking forward to talking about tomorrow's world. And if your vision of the future is a dystopian world where this week, 12th rule supreme. You probably already followed this programme on the Twitter, the Fleecebook, Snappy Snaps or Insta Spam. What the hell am I talking about? Here on This Week, we are relentless in our pursuit of journalistic excellence. It may look like it's all silly props and cheap laughs, or as I call them, Michael and Liz. But this is your one-stop pre-holiday shop to find out what politicians have been up to before their summer break. Theresa May went nuclear, so did the Labour leadership contest, so strap yourself in for Kevin Maguire and John Pienaar on a final scramble for a story before the holidays. Their planes, trains and submarines roundup of the political week.
John, Kevin, just checking you're managing without me.
Yeah, hi Andrew, yeah, we'll be all right.
Yeah. Hello, Andrew.
Yeah, calm down. We've got a lot to get through. We've got the Trident vote, we've got Labour Party in meltdown, Theresa May's first PMQs. Who knows these days what else might have happened? Yeah, okay, look, I've got to go. The private jet's waiting to take me to Mustique. But just before I go, great news. Michael Gove's going to help you with the scripting tonight. How about that? Guys, hello? I think they've hung up.
Quick, let's go to Lanzarote before something else happens.
Yeah, like Labour getting its act together. Hang on, slow down. All the time in the world.
I want to say to all members of the Labour Party tonight, young and old, long-standing new members, I can be their champion. I am just as radical as Jeremy Corbyn.
So they had their hustings, Angela Eagle, Owen Smith, and then there was one.
Taxi!
It's Owen Smith. Last man standing, he's the unity candidate.
Corbyn will be hard to beat, but can the unity candidate unite the party? Cabby, where we going? Do we know yet? Hang on, see how much I've got. I've got a few bob, but I'm not sure.
Step aside, boys. Taxi for Corbyn. Take a left. A hard left.
Right, I suppose after that we better let the train take the stream.
Get me out of here.
This party is going places. This party is strong. This party is capable of winning a general election. And if I'm leader of the party, I will be that Prime Minister.
It's going to be a long, hot summer for Labour's troublesome candidates.
Yeah, not just them. Our new Foreign Secretary's discovered he's got a packed schedule starting in Europe.
Very, very good to be here for my first overseas trip. And clearly the message I'll be taking to our friends in the council is that we have to give effect to the will of the people and leave the European Union, but that in no sense means that we are leaving Europe.
Perhaps Boris should try a staycation with Liam Fox and David Davis at Chevening. Come on! Excuse me! I'm trying to have a look. I think that might be a Class 375 electrical multiple unit. True!
You know, Boris Johnson, he's got a lot of bridges to build, not just in Europe. Is there anywhere that he hasn't offended? Really cuts down your holiday options.
What about Papua New Guinea?
Brilliant.
Oh, hang on a minute. 2006, he called them cannibals.
What about America?
This man is a very smart and capable man. That's the Boris Johnson
I can live with that.
I have met, and that's the Boris Johnson that I intend to work with, and we intend to make good things happen together.
Stop that. That's fine. That's great. Thank you.
It's called diplomacy.
That's fantastic. It's going well. It's going well, John. Thank you very much.
It was almost as if he could hear Boris thinking, this is real, isn't it?
If anyone can surprise you, it's Boris. I spent a month going around the country during the leadership election, then he threw in the towel. I could have spent the whole time in a room with Theresa May. But now, Boris, his name's going to open doors.
Maybe trapdoors.
Excuse me, is this all stations to Brexit? And if so, can you tell me where I get off?
Right, Lanzarote, here we come. But hang on a minute. This doesn't look right.
Come on, what do you think? I got it on eBay. Bargain, 40 billion quid.
It's a bit cosy.
It's fine, it's fine. A little bit dated, okay, but just don't press any buttons, okay? And Theresa May, she won her vote on Trident renewal by quite a big margin. Tone, so tough, surprised a few of them on the other side.
Is she personally prepared to authorise a nuclear strike that could kill 100,000 innocent men, women and children?
Yes. And I have to say to the honourable gentleman, the whole point of a deterrent is that our enemies need to know that we would be prepared to use it.
Yeah, but was this really about renewing Trident, or was it a preemptive strike on an already listing Labour Party? The vote felt less the hunt for Red October and more the race for Red September.
Take that hat off.
The bright-eyed Bolsheviks of momentum will have your number.
Whoop, whoop, whoop. So, Prime Minister May's first question time, Jeremy Corbyn welcomed her as our second Prime Minister, but then he tried to launch a counter-strike.
Shh, shh, Skipper, I'm picking something up on the sauna. It's a sense of humour.
I suspect that there are many members on the opposition benches who might be familiar with an unscrupulous boss. A boss who doesn't listen to his workers, a boss who requires some of his workers to double their workload, a boss, and maybe even a boss who exploits the rules to further his own career. Remind him of anybody?
Sir, we're picking up a submarine. It looks like it's trying to defect to Berlin.
Good grief, that's in Europe. We can't let that happen. After all, Brexit means Brexit, says Admiral May. At least that's what she told Angela Merkel. Depth charges away.
I've been clear that Brexit means Brexit, and the United Kingdom is going to make a success of it. But I also want to be clear, here today and across Europe in the weeks ahead, that we are not walking away from our European friends. Britain will remain an outward-looking country, and Germany will remain a vital partner and a special friend for us.
It's okay here, isn't it? It's quite cosy. Looking forward to this holiday. Mind you, I'm already looking forward to the autumn. A woman in Downing Street, the Labour Party all over the place. Feel quite young again.
And we could have a President Trump in the White House. Oh, look what I found. It's the Prime Minister's letter of last resort.
What does it say?
Call Boris?
Destroy it quickly.
Well, there's an all-star cast there. Thanks to the Chatham Historic Dockyard for letting us loose on HMS Ocelot. And now we're joined in the studio by an ambitious young man who many people are calling the new Nicola Sturgeon, though curiously not the existing Nicola Sturgeon. SNP superstar and future First Minister of Scotland, John Nicolson. You're very welcome.
Thank you. You read that exactly as I wrote it.
Do you want to be First Minister?
No.
There we go. That's never going to happen then. Right, I want to talk about Labour first.
You surprise me.
Liz, it's going to be Jeremy Corbyn or Owen Smith, but not you. Are you OK with that?
Yes, totally.
Jeremy Corbyn launched his bid today, his 5-point plan to tackle inequality, neglect, insecurity, prejudice, discrimination and innumeracy. Do you disagree with any of that? Who could argue with that?
No, look, I mean, both Owen and Jeremy will set their case forward, but look, I think that we face this terrible paradox in the Labour Party at the moment, where there's this enthusiastic movement behind Jeremy, and it appears that his ratings are going up amongst existing members. And yet when you ask the public, you get the exact opposite, and we really are now at decision time for the Labour Party. Sorry?
Even in elections, when you ask the public in elections, Jeremy Corbyn says he wins them.
Look, I think we did badly at the last local council elections, and if you look at the poll ratings and Jeremy's personal ratings with the public, we're doing very badly indeed, and we have to make a decision here. Do we believe our mission is to be a party of government, to put our principles into practice and change people's lives, or do we want to protest on the sidelines? I think Owen has made a powerful case that we must always be for the latter, and that's why he has my full support in this contest.
But in those 5 goals, can you disagree with them as an aim for Labour?
I want to see us tackle inequality and all of those issues that have been set out, but I do not believe that Jeremy has the leadership qualities or the right policies to do that. And I think that, we saw the head of Momentum say in a tweet that winning was just something that the elite wanted to keep power for themselves. No, we want to win so that we can change people's lives. And that is the big decision facing the Labour Party. And Owen is absolutely passionate that we are there to change people's lives and not just protest on the sidelines. And I very much agree.
Michael, what do you think of Owen Smith?
Oh, I know scarcely anything about him. I mean, something that's puzzled me extremely about him is that he seems to have made quite a business of wanting to rerun the referendum or to have it verified by an election. Whereas, as I understand it, in his own Wales, the majority of Labour voters voted to leave. In the North East, where there are many Labour voters, in Yorkshire and so on, the majority of Labour voters voted to leave. So I'm puzzled that he should try and make that a stance.
Maybe he's looking for a vote in Scotland.
Well, I don't know what Liz would say, but I don't think Labour have a chance of recovering in Scotland in the near term, by which I mean between now and the next election. I think Labour just have to write off Scotland at the next election.
Liz?
I don't think we would ever write off Scotland.
Well, you might not say it, but is that not the reality?
No, I don't believe that that's the case.
Really?
But I don't believe that that's the case. We need to rebuild in every part of the country to provide an effective opposition to the government.
John, which candidate, candidly, would you prefer to win the Labour leadership election?
I don't have a dog in the fight, of course. I have to say, though, if I was a young Labour voter in England and I wanted a new politics and I joined the Labour Party to support Jeremy Corbyn and just to get involved in politics, I think I would find the behaviour of a lot of the Labour backbenchers utterly frustrating, because as soon as Jeremy Corbyn was elected, I sat and watched it. They treated him with visceral hatred from the word go. And I mean, Liz is shaking her head, but I watched it. I hear the comments. I sit and I listened to what they say. Even, as you know, at the start of Prime Minister's question time, when each of the leaders comes out, they get a cheer from their own side. He never got a cheer from his own side, even after he was just elected. So I think they've played it very badly. And I think surely there has to be some sort of respect for the duly elected leader of a party who's won such a huge mandate.
There was respect. Many people decided to serve in the shadow cabinet on the front bench and bust a gut to try and make it work.
I didn't see much evidence of that, I have to say.
People were really torn when they decided to resign.
So why did they treat him so disrespectfully? Why didn't they, a simple thing, why didn't they just cheer him when he walked out to ask the Prime Minister questions?
You will have seen early on, you have a short memory, people did support him early on, but I think his failure of leadership was why many people from Angela Eagle to Owen Smith...
I've got a pretty good memory, and I remember how he was treated.
Really
but can we blow away this democracy thing? There's a small group of self-appointed people who join the Labour Party. They are completely unrepresentative of Labour voters. They're completely unrepresentative of the British population. But Jeremy Corbyn pleases to call this a democracy. There are all sorts of people in the United Kingdom today who are fearing that this calamitous choice as Labour leader, I call him calamitous, I think that is a proper expression for someone who does not command 80% of the support of his parliamentary party. There is a fear in the United Kingdom that this calamitous choice could become Prime Minister, and he has been selected by this tiny group of momentum-inspired, self-appointed, unrepresentative people. Now, the same criticism can be made of the Conservative Party in its leadership process, and I entirely accept that. We need to get to a situation where parliamentarians choose the leader and not the self-appointed.
Michael raises a very important point.
If you don't mind, Liz, I
here.
just want to turn our attention, if we could, to the new Prime Minister and her performance at Prime Minister's. Questions, of course. Was she Margaret Thatcher light? Would that comparison be useful for her?
She didn't even appear to be particularly light on this occasion. I last knew Theresa 15 years ago. I've been amazed at the way she's developed. To perform like that in your first Prime Minister's questions, I think really is commendable. I don't know whether she'll be able to sustain it, but the humour was excellent, it was well deployed, the timing was good.
But did you see echoes of that?
Yes. And of course that was absolutely deliberate. She wanted to have that headline. She must have done the way she leant forward, the way she lowered the voice when she delivered the gag. But I must say she pulled it off extremely well. And, you know, in our little film just now, they had that joke about detecting a sense of humour with the sonar. I mean, that was what made it so amazing. Nothing in her previous 6 years had made us believe that she was capable of that sort of performance.
No, she learned the joke perfectly. Again, I was looking across watching her as she delivered it. And she had the Thatcher voice down pat as well, didn't she? As you say, the lowering of the voice and the very, very severe stare that she did at the end there as well. It was a very impressive first performance.
Liz, that's sort of 2 Thatcher impressions we've had from the boys.
You're definitely not getting one from me. I think the very interesting thing about what Theresa May has said so far, not done but said, is this, you know, explicit pitch at the centre ground. Absolutely. Her cabinet, I think, is very much to the right, but her language about an economy that works for everyone, straight out of our last manifesto and speeches given by Ed Miliband. And the question is, in a post-Brexit Britain, with all the challenges that we have, are the Tories going to go down a low-tax, deregulated, small-state vision of Britain in order to succeed now we're no longer in Europe, in which case that won't deliver for ordinary people? Or is she going to be able to put those words into practice? I don't believe she'll be able to do that, but I thought it was very interesting. That's where she's pitched her stall.
John, finally, were you impressed? I know you disagree with her policy on Trident, but were you impressed that at least she backed it up by saying that she would press the button?
I find it chilling that she said she would press the button. I think I'm right in saying it's unprecedented for a Prime Minister in the Commons to give that direct answer.
Well,
because
wasn't it honest?
Well, as you know, they're always ambiguous about this and leave a bit of wiggle room. The debate in Trident was very poor. I sat there for 7 hours, and basically 5 arguments were used on each side, backwards and forwards and backwards and forwards. No one changed their mind in the course of the whole debate. The House of Commons is enormously self-congratulatory. You know, quite often you'll get to the end of the day and it'll be an amazingly boring debate, and a succession of MPs will stand up and say, well, I think we've had a simply splendid debate today. And you think, were you in the same room as I was in? That was beyond dull. It wasn't a good debate. It was entirely predictable. But I have to pay credit to one single Tory MP, the chair of the Foreign Affairs Select Committee, Crispin Blunt, who was the solitary Tory in the lobby against Trident.
All right. Thank you. And by the way, you were terrific. Just
You're
terrific.
very
Just
kind.
terrific. Marvellous. And I don't mean that in the House of Commons way.
I've been getting